0700 hours. It's Thursday, the 20th of June, 2024. Good morning and welcome to your numero uno breakfast show. It's Wake Up Nigeria. Now, come on, it's a third Thursday. June is running quite fast. If you need a reminder, it's just 9 days to the day they told me that I was born. I don't know if that's the day, but hey, come on. We're here to set up and get a wonderful and perfect breakfast show for you. My name is Mike Messikeno. We've got that dose of energy, inspiration, fun, and of course, art on our Artsy Thursday. We've also got an amazing chef in the kitchen. She was haranguing me that, hey, I didn't check up on her. But hey, come on, we are going to look at what's happening in the kitchen today on the show. Now, if you need to catch us anywhere you are, you can hit us up via our app. It's available on the Apple and, of course, the Google Play Store. Just go for TVC. That's the app. Now, if you're watching us on DTT, that will be GOTV channel 16. And then if it's on the terrestrial band, it's the ultra high frequency 49. Our social media handles on X, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn are TVC Entertainment _. Use the hashtag WakeUpNigeria_on_TVC to directly interact with us and for engagement. Okay, we're here to make that morning bright, smiley, and shiny. In spite of all the rain that has come and that will come, we're here to ensure that we are that splash of sunshine into your face. Now let's get straight into what we have for this morning. Artsy Thursday, we'll start off with our art display. We have Omorodion Efosa Gideon Osawe, popularly known as Efosa. He is a multi-dimensional artist with a love for Afrocentric perspective. Now, a lens through which he dynamically expresses his art. He's going to be here. He's a sculptor, he's a painter, he's studied fine and applied arts, and we'll be talking to him about his works and what he has upcoming. And of course, Mary Bashua Alimi, Lady O, is here with me on a Thursday morning.
Good morning. Good morning. Well, I'm all right.
How's the week?
Very well, thank God.
Are you sure?
Very well, yes.
You not buy tomatoes extra
Dude,
price?
I've been shouting this thing for weeks now. It's like
or
even though used to go to
price
market.
Or something, yeah?
Yeah. You don't understand. 10,000 is the new 1,000.
Then
Think about it. The plantain we used to buy for 200 is now 2,000 naira. The yam we used to buy for 300 is now 3,000, 4,000. You are the one that called me.
Sorry.
Then
Sorry, I'm sorry.
Kneel down before I answer. We are come up.
Okay, good.
So I've been saying this for
Thursday
weeks.
morning, and we're here to bring you bright, wonderful news and all of that that's been happening. You know, it's been. Did you see some of our celebs at? I think it was Louis Vuitton week in France.
Yes, they looked interesting.
And we had a number of people there. By the way, the one I really wanted to mention was the festival in what's it now, in Ijebu.
Ojude Oba. Yes, that one is always a big one.
We need pictures from that one. It's massive. In fact, what is quite different is that this time around, it is set to be a UNESCO festival. That means it is going to be big. It is something that you'd have even international observers coming at different times, and it is quite big. I like that in spite of what is happening, they still maintain that steez. And it was. There's a particular video I saw. They had at least it was over 20-something different groups. Yeah. Man, the color, it was.
It's like that every year.
Else.
And there's the Durban as well for the Muslims. I know it was done in Ilorin. It was done in several northern states. And then, of course, Lagos is also trying to drag for their own festival.
Is it the Eco Festival?
Yes, Eco Week. I think that will be sometime in September, October, or thereabouts.
So, but that festival in Ijebu, just to add, what does it commemorate? Does it commemorate the king or the Oba?
So it's actually a festival that takes place during the...
Just after the Eid?
Yeah, during the Salah.
That's what I know about.
It's like an end. Yeah, it's the celebration.
Yes, that's what I know about that.
So it's usually done at about that time. It's
wonderful,
usually done at about
wonderful,
that time.
wonderful.
Yeah.
Let's check out what the weather.
Okay. You know, I wanted to mention something regarding the weather.
Okay.
For those not living within Africa,
okay.
For those living maybe in European countries and the rest, today is actually the longest day of the year. What they call summer solstice. So officially marking the first day of summer. Yeah. So that's what today is. So
wonderful.
Let's check out the weather. Whether we are going to have a long day or a short day ourselves. I think it's longer these days. Let's check it out.
Good morning. The news on Wake Up Nigeria. I am Mike Messikeno. Now, Governor Siminalayi Fubara insists that his administration will not allow the tenure elongation of local government chairmen to succeed. He warned against the move at the swearing-in ceremony of caretaker committees for the 23 councils. Details in this report.
Chairmen of caretaker committees converged on the executive chamber of the government house in Port Harcourt to be sworn in immediately after their screening by the Oko Jumbo-led House of Assembly. They are taking over the mantle of local government leadership under controversial circumstances. With the expiration of the 3-year tenure of the council chairman, Governor Fubara says he is sworn to protect the 1999 constitution.
We will not allow a wrong precedent to be created in this country. It is not about Rivers State, it's not about Fubara. But if in any way this attempt of tenure elongation succeeds in Rivers State, it becomes a norm in Nigeria. So we have taken it upon ourselves to say, not within our own watch, that it will not happen, because it is completely alien to the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria. So for those people,
Governor Fubara describes the resistance to setting up caretaker committees as an attempt to blackmail his government. But he assured that local government elections would be conducted soon.
we have more than 85% of the states in Nigeria that are being run by caretaker. Ours is different. You have your tenure. You have completed your tenure. It is proper. You let go. And life doesn't create vacuum. If you're not there again, doesn't mean, if your tenure has expired, doesn't mean I should say because I want to please you, I will allow you. No, it doesn't happen anywhere. People must take over, manage the affair, and elections be conducted.
Governor Fubara also gave the Auditor General of the state 1 month to probe the local government accounts for the last 3 years.
The Inspector General of Police, Kayode Egbetokun, has condemned the violence at various local government secretariats in Rivers State, where supporters of two political factions clashed over the tenure of local government council chairmen, which led to the deaths of a police officer and a vigilante member at Egberi, Omoma, in Omoma local government area. In a statement by the Force Public Relations Officer Olumuyiwa Adejobi, the IGP has directed the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, Olatunji Disu, to investigate the killing of the police officer and the vigilante operative. He called on all residents and political stakeholders in the state to exercise restraint and seek peaceful means of resolving differences.
The Inspector General of Police, Federal Republic of Nigeria, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, PhD, NPM condemns in the strongest terms the recent outbreak of violence and subsequent breakdown of law and order at various local government council secretariats in Rivers State, where supporters of two political factions clashed over the tenure of local government council chairmen, which unfortunately led to the tragic death of a police officer, Inspector David Ngbada, and Samuel Nwigwe, a vigilante member at Eberi, Omoma, in Omoma local government area of Rivers State. In response to these heinous acts, the Inspector General of Police has directed the Commissioner of Police in Rivers State, CP Olatunji Disu, to heighten security measures across the state and institute thorough investigations into the killing of the police officer and the vigilante operative, as well as the general violence which erupted in the state.
President Cyril Ramaphosa says South Africa has begun a new era as he was sworn in for a second full term in office. He remained in office even though his party, the African National Congress, failed to secure a majority in parliament during last month's election. The ANC subsequently made a deal with its long-term rival, Democratic Alliance, and other parties to form a coalition government. Mr. Ramaphosa commended this government during his inauguration speech, but also warned that unless it addressed deep inequalities, the country could become unstable. South African dignitaries and African heads of state were invited to the inauguration. They include the leaders of Nigeria, Angola, Zimbabwe, Congo-Brazzaville, and Eswatini, and gathered in the Nelson Mandela Amphitheater outside the Union Building in Pretoria. A huge crowd of supporters formed outside the official seat of government, waving national flags. Good morning. There was a video that was trending, and that is quite related to what we want to talk about, and that was, I think it's a pastor, where he was talking about if you send your, talking about how students and giving money in church, and I was like, you know, there we say you have students who will take their school fees in quote and sow seed. Yeah, good. So there's this
They'll
video.
take their school fees that their parents sweat to raise, and then take it, not their personal sweat, to go and sow seed. Please go on, Mike.
So, and then it got to a point where you just mentioned something now about a mom.
Yeah.
There's a reason why I want to tie both together, where a student gave 40,000, or a young girl gave 40,000 to the mom. And rather than the mom praying blessings and giving her praying blessings, asked, where did you get this money?
Yeah.
In fact, cursed her, insulted her, still demanded the source of the money. So what business are you doing?
Do we still have people like that? We should encase that mom in gold or something. Do we still have...
museum.
Do people still question where money comes from?
So,
from a friend, from somebody you know, when you know that somebody doesn't have the ability, the capacity for such an amount, and you see somebody, I see maybe it's a friend, your friend just buy new Benz. As your own guy, say, guy, have fun.
How you take
this? Show me the way.
Like asking because of you're concerned or something. You understand? And then it gets to the point where we've got to the point where is it that we are so, as a society, we are so poor, or we are so needy that we don't care about the sources or about morals and all of that. Have we gotten to that point? Have we gotten to that point?
You know, I find it very worrisome that the society doesn't do as we knew it to be. I mean, somebody gives you money, you know the person cannot afford it. Instead of you to at least find out, how did you get this money? What did you do?
What did you do?
Most people are more interested in, my friend, thank you, Jare. If not because this person helped me out. And so in some cases, even when these people are committing crimes, you overlook it because you don't want to seem like bad belle or something. There's nothing bad belle about it. Right from time, as much as we know, your parents have a right, your friends have a right, people close to you have a right to question your source of income, your source of wealth, especially if it's suddenly, increased beyond measure. The common answer is, now God do am. And then you're like, okay, does it mean that I'm not praying or something? Come out clean. This is how you did it. But
Come out clean?
Clean now.
You are demanding for too much.
Sorry.
What about those that made these monies through illegal means?
Okay, so now...
Then why are you committing a crime you are not proud of?
Nobody wants to expose themselves.
Someone said something, and this is why this is... I think it was K-Solo was somewhere, and he said something, that in the peak of the 419, the internet fraud, the Yahoo boy things, these boys would send their moms to the banks to pick up money.
Can you imagine?
And they'll go.
Yeah.
And
so
their mothers would go.
It became because it was easier not to suspect
an elderly woman. Hey, wahala.
It was a period. Now there are different ways. You can't just go to bank and just go and pick anything like. But this was in the early days, so it was either their mom or look for an elderly woman and
I'm hearing this for the first time.
And then this was the format, in quote. So think about it. Now this is another mom. We've seen these things happen different times. We've seen girls who are making monies that that they are not working for. And then they come to their parents, and because maybe the parents are poor and they need it, and they turn a blind eye to it. Where can we draw that line? Because at some point, there are some that might not on their own. they might not want to, or they might not want to say, they might not want to promote that kind of a lifestyle, but because they are needy, they get to the point and say, let's just take it. Here we need to eat.
I saw a video yesterday. It was an Igbo woman talking. She was speaking in Igbo. And what the woman was saying summarily was, if you go to school, if you want to gain admission to university and you know you cannot afford university, go and learn a trade. Make money. If going to school is still your passion, you can go from the proceeds of your trade. Don't go to school and start doing hookup. There was even a particular word she used that made me smile. She said, "Ukopian." That's what you are. And this can be related to this. You see, in life, there's something called entitlement. People believe, oh, if this person can do it, why can't I? And so because of that, you put your hands and your body into things that you really shouldn't get yourself involved in. This girl, my mom telling her that, where did you get money from? As you said, it's a rare case. There are so many children that the reason they are doing many of these crimes is just so they can, in quotes, make their parents proud. In quotes, provide for their parents, instead of the other way around, for a while at least.
Well,
and I find that
also
worrisome.
Even try to look at it from the parents' perspective and the roles that they have inadvertently played some way or the other, in the upbringing of these children. Because in the case where you send a child to school, we've seen cases where students, some of our classmates then back at school, had to pay for their school fees themselves. It's not as if their parents were not alive. They are. But they got to the point where they were responsible for themselves. So it still goes back to the role of the parents in these things. In a case where a child is going to school and you're not paying for the child's school fees, where do you expect them to get the monies from? So in cases like that where the child gets into fraud, yes, the parents will escort them to go and collect the money from the bank because you did not contribute to this child's schooling. They found a way. You're not in any way encouraging it. You're not supporting it, but you are a part of it. Do you understand what I'm saying? So even parents, some way or the other, have a role.
See, I've always
in the little things. We just sort of miss out on.
It's easy to blame the parents, but then we should also remember that there are several other parents who are even worse to do, that their children turn out right and still choose the right path. If you are going to commit crime, it's simply in you. It's because you allowed it to happen. There are people who are actually going the straight and narrow way, difficult as it may seem.
Of course, definitely.
So
if you have bad parents,
yes, we have bad parents that raise good. We have good parents that raise bad children. That's life. Yeah. So most times I try to avoid blaming parents.
The one that you blame a parent is when you cannot,
and you are encouraging it.
Child.
Yes.
And then you have one bacha and you have 6 children.
One what? One what?
Bacha.
Which one is bacha again?
Go and Google it.
Oh, face me. Are you serious?
And then look at discussion. It came one time when we're like, why would you give birth to a child that you cannot fend for?
God will provide. The Lord who gives will take care. Is that not the common saying?
Yeah, we give too much responsibility to
God. Yes.
Yeah.
And rich relatives.
Right.
All right, let's hear your thoughts. Drop it down in the comment section. We'll take a time out. We'll be back in a bit. All right. It's a Thursday morning. Welcome to the second lap of the show. It's been one exciting hour. We've had quite interesting discussions. We just had a wonderful art display there with Mary. That was quite something to look forward to. But by the way, the reason why the second half is even sweeter, very big shout out to Tosin Ade. They just sent me kuli now. And the way I'm smiling now. Father of the Jagaban. Big shout out to you. Thank you very much there. But hey, come on. It's going to be another 45 minutes. Wonderful one for you. My name is Mike Messi-Kenor. Let's get straight into what we have left on the show. But remember, just before that, you can hit us up via our app. It's available on the Apple Store and, of course, the Google Play Store. Download it. Watch us anywhere around the world. YouTube also, TVC Entertainment. The website, tvcentertainment.tv. And then DTT, that will be GOTV channel 16. And the terrestrial band will be the Ultra High Frequency 49. That's where you tune to catch us on any of these platforms. And then on social media, TVC Entertainment _ across Facebook, X, Instagram, TikTok, LinkedIn. You can hit us up there with the hashtag WakeUpNigeria on TVC to engage and interact with us. All right. Somebody just came up here, yeah? Davido. suing his baby mama
Oh my
for
God.
custody.
Which of them?
Oh, are they more than one?
I think so.
Okay. Yes, in case possible.
Yeah.
Sophia Momodu, that's the one.
He's suing her for custody of his child.
Yeah, of the daughter.
Or
Yeah,
what-
he listed reasons.
Yeah,
It's
what are
quite
the
a
reasons
lot.
exactly? Because that's what I want to know.
It is quite a lot. It will take some reading, you know.
Please,
but
can you highlight
mention
some
that?
of
Yeah.
them? Please,
Almost.
highlight some.
Nine slides.
Let me
oh.
read them. Let me just pick out one.
So these guys can't fix their issues, like...
Okay, so first off, while you're trying to figure that,
He narrated that though he had a relationship with her that led to the birth of their child, the relationship ended somewhere which are resolved to take care of the child as biological father and mother. He narrated that though he had a relationship with her, that he said that on this record, I've been responsible for the payment of school fees for my daughter. I've also provided money for rent and all of that. That he purchased the mother a lot. Said the respondent rejected the offer to stay and live at. Okay, so he has been doing stuff that she has been rejecting and then casting
as a bad
aspersions
father.
over him, yes, and all of that. Maybe that's the summary of everything. I'll get full more into details. But, you know, we've spoken about how, look, things end, relationships end, marriages end, but when there are kids involved, it's how to ensure
Exactly.
that it is not
Exactly.
toxic.
Exactly.
Do you know, I
I
find
hope-
it really sad
For the
when
kids.
people... This thing you said, I find it really sad when people do this. This child is obviously having a stable life with her mom. Now, because of whatever issues you guys have that you've decided not to resolve between the two of you, you are now doing this. In a situation where, for example, let's say you're living abroad, or she's living abroad, she can easily even relocate before this thing is, you know, before it's concluded. So you can go and face the full wrath of the American law since he's an American.
So from what I'm hearing, there's been some outrageous demands from her to him. And are those demands valid?
He said he
I think
purchased-
it gets to a point where they need to sit down with either a therapist or a
As in,
counselor and, you know,
resolve this, because there's a child involved.
Because people always forget, couples, when they get to that point of disputes, where they get to that point where they decide to separate, they forget that the biggest or the victim here is the child.
You can tear at each other, but ensure your children are in that cocoon. They are protected.
It is your job as parents
That's
to
why I find it
protect
hilarious.
them, to preserve their innocence as much as possible. So the minute you begin to expose them to this sort of, you know, violence, because it becomes violence at some point, emotionally and you know, mentally, well...
Do you realize that Davido really doesn't even need to have any conversation with her?
So the
Yeah,
point
you
is-
can get a middle person,
So,
maybe
yeah.
a lawyer or something,
Based on
that
what
can be
is here.
handling this.
Yeah.
The fact that you people are having communication, there will always be that bitterness,
yeah.
anger, and so many other
There has
things
to be someone to
involved.
mediate
Yes.
on
So
both
there are so
behalves.
many factors. That's why I find it...
Optimally, there shouldn't be. There shouldn't be, because that girl you're talking about, she's not a kid again. She can read. She has people that go on the internet. When she goes to school, they know whose daughter she is. All of this comes into play. Now, the point is that, according to what is said here, he bought an apartment for them. Bought apartment fully. But she decided not to go there, not to stay there, and said that he has to pay $5 million annually as rent for where she wanted. And then he got a car. And then for 2 weeks, she was not in school, and they had to call him or something, and he found out that, they said the car was bad, and he wasn't told. He got another car.
I don't
it's been
understand.
a lot
The
of
child
things
didn't go
have
to
been
school
going
for
on.
2 weeks
Yeah.
because of car.
So that's why I
really want the details
I
of
am
this
still hinging on the fact that they need to see a therapist, because this is deeper than we think. She's obviously bitter about something, and they need to find out what it is. The minute
Whatever
it is
she's bitter
addressed,
about, your child did not go to
then-
school for 2 weeks because car is not available.
it is out of
So the
bitterness
child is now suffering
and
because
I don't
of
understand.
the
So why wouldn't you find...
the
You know,
relationship with
initially
you
I was
guys.
actually finding it hilarious that I would ask for it since the child was stable with the mom. But the woman is acting unstable now.
And the
Mentally.
impression that she has
Seriously.
the impression she has been given on social media is that he's deadbeat.
Yes.
Oh, come on. Social media is full of lies
And you know, it's always,
so
people always wonder,
I've learned
Davido
not
of
to
all
believe any
people,
of that.
you know.
I mean, he has the money. He has
You know,
the
but
money.
now
He
from
has the
everything
money,
here,
maybe, but
yeah, he
she's
said he
not
has
his
gone
wife.
as far as paying for a lot of
Well,
things
there's a
and all
child
of that.
involved.
Exactly. So the child should not suffer because of
Take
your
care of his child.
animosity towards your
Towards
partner.
your partner, right? Because that is what it is.
Yes,
So
it's
she
not only
needs to
Davido.
deal
Please
with-
not forget Davido now.
Yeah, she needs.
All
That's
of
what
you.
I'm still hinging on her. It's the focus is on her right now. She needs to deal with whatever it is. She's dealing with stuff, and she needs to deal with it because she doesn't understand that
How
it's
do you know she's
projecting on
done
the
it?
child.
How do you see?
There
Let
are
me tell
baby
you.
daddies that do a lot for their baby mamas, even when
Simple.
they are married to other
I
people
don't-
after the relationship.
I
Note
don't-
after, because of the fact that she had this first child, so she believes she probably has a right to him than any other
So
person.
you know what?
Fine.
I like that this is
But-
in court. They are going to solve it out, and if she's old enough, if the father can win custody, good. All right, let's take a look
She's
at what the
over
weather will
10,
be
so
like.
she can even decide.
And
sef.
we'll be back after this.
Yes, we are back to the kitchen. I hope you're as excited as I am. Well, yeah, I hope you are. Yes, welcome, guys. Chef Alice is still here of Dunas Culinary School, and this morning she's making a foriro with poundo yam. What's your favorite swallow, guys? What's my favorite swallow? My favorite swallow is pounded yam, actually. Yes.
I can bet with you enjoy this.
What's your favorite swallow?
Eba and egusi jẹ.
Hey, is it the yellow gari?
No, white.
White
Gari
gari?
Ijebu gari gongon,
Yeah?
original one.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
I've not had gari in years, actually. I don't remember last time
Oh,
I had
for
gari.
real?
I've not
Don't
had
worry,
gari in years.
we'll bring one of these
You
days.
send one to me. Yay. Excited.
We'll
So
use
guys,
label.
let
We'll
us
use
know
gari
what
labels.
your favorite swallow is. Remember to hit us up on our socials at TVC Entertainment _. You can also reach us on Wake Up Nigeria at TVC. Send in those comments, guys. We want to know what your favorite swallow is and what is it best paired with? What soup is it best paired with? Let us know, guys. On your screen are the ingredients, guys. If you missed out on them earlier on, we're having a foriro and poundo yam and poundo. As you can see, Chef Alice is already, getting that poundo ready. How do you make your poundo?
Well, I boiled water on fire. When the water was done, I removed parts and kept aside.
Okay.
Then I started adding the powder, the poundo powder,
Okay.
in the water. Then I used my turning stick to turn it.
Okay.
Then the water that I set aside, I added it in
Okay.
it, just to make it done very perfectly well.
Okay.
So when I'm done now, I will need to draw it so that I do not have any lumps in it. So after which I'll cover it, add little water again to steam very well. Then when that is done, I'll take it down again and draw it, then I dish it out.
I imagine someone listening right now is saying, what? That's a long process for just making poundo.
It's very, very
Because
simple.
we like to rush everything in this part of the world. We rush how we eat, rush how we sleep, rush everything. But hey, guys, if you want to get the best of your swallow, you need to take your time to make it really well. Now, let's talk about our foriro, which is the star of our, of this morning's breakfast. So quickly, take us through the process
Okay,
for our foriro.
for the foriro, I added palm oil on fire.
Okay.
Then I added my onions inside it. After that, I allowed it to fry little. Then I added my beef in it because I will love the beef to have
Soft.
to be very, very soft and crunchy little in mouth when you are biting it. Then I added my the pepper inside it, then the stockfish, the smoked fish,
all
and
the
the
fish.
pomo, all the protein.
And
I
then we just
added them
poured in
inside
the
it.
vegetable.
Then I poured the vegetable inside. Meanwhile, I mix out something for you guys.
Okay.
The vegetable, when you buy from the market,
Yeah.
make sure you wash it very well with cold water.
Yes.
Then boil water, add it to it. Just leave it for 3 minutes because we don't want our vegetable to be too soft.
Yes, and
to
also you
all
want to
the
retain those nutrients
Yeah, I
in
want
there.
to retain all the
Great
nutrients.
stuff,
So
great
you just
stuff.
do that.
Yeah.
You wash with salt. Then after which you clean
Thank
it very well
you,
again.
Chef Alice, thank you so much. We have to go
As
now.
you can
Breakfast
see, here
ready,
is the
so we have to go
vegetable.
on a quick break,
You can
guys.
come and join
The
us.
show continues in a bit. Please stay with us.
And then we're wrapping up the show today with a book chat. We have Reverend Richie Omorodion, the author of Choice Makes a Destiny. The book dissuades from giving up hope and surrendering too soon to life struggles, challenges, and obstacles. It is great to have you, Reverend. You're welcome.
Thank you for having me.
All right, so this is quite the book. When I'm looking at the packaging and all of that, it's very, very good. Choice Makes Destiny. With God, you can rescue yourself. What inspired the title of this book?
I had my own challenges like every other person. And while I was going through it, I began to receive inspiration, from God that I should put this down for people, to read who are having similar experiences, that we shouldn't give up so soon in life. Sometimes choices are inevitable, whether we like it or not. But before you make that choice, like it is said, you are free to make choices, but you're not free from the consequences of that choice. So, yeah, that's exactly what prompted or inspired the writing of the book. That, look, it's not about destiny, like people will say, oh, this is my destiny. There's nothing I can do about it. But don't forget that the choice you make, whether your destiny is a good one or it's a bad one, or you're going to fulfill it or you're going to marry it, is all a function of your choice.
So when you say
that is it.
Chapter 1 here says, what is destiny? So when people say destiny, what is destiny?
Well, some people say destiny. I think there's a misconception about it. Okay, but for me, according to this book, which I will encourage everybody to read, because there's so many definitions about destiny. Destiny is where you arrive at the end of the day. When I say at the end of the day, I'm talking about maybe when you're talking about fulfillment. Right now, you cannot talk about that fulfillment. You cannot talk about arriving there until you breathe your last breath.
Okay.
So destiny is not something that is fixed. It's something that can change.
Something that can change. I like that.
Yes.
Some people feel that, look, destiny, no matter what you do, it has already been fixed that
Which
that will
is
happen.
very, very
because
wrong.
Your second chapter here says Jesus Christ's destiny versus Judas Iscariot.
Right.
So that means that it was not, Judas Iscariot could have had something different. That's what you're saying.
Correct. Correct. See, Judas Iscariot, for Christians, anyone that reads the scriptures, there was nowhere in the scriptures that it was written that it must be Judas Iscariot that would betray Jesus. There was nothing like that. But Judas Iscariot had a kind of a weakness which he did not pay attention to. He was with Jesus for almost 3.5 years, and the Bible says he was already a thief. He kept stealing and stealing. He has the opportunity, to say, no, I ain't going to do this anymore. But he just kept on that path. That is where choice comes in. So the enemy saw that weakness and he saw that loophole. Of course, the enemy doesn't operate in a void. He looks for that weakness in people to hit them. So Judas Iscariot was readily available to carry out the mission of that fulfillment.
Wow, interesting.
Yeah.
Now, your chapter 3 says, reason behind a person's destiny may not be known.
Yeah.
What do you mean by that?
What I mean by that is, like one of the definitions says, 65% is the choices we make. The other percentage, we can't really define it. Now, some things happen to us in life, and that is where God comes in. When some things happen, only God actually has the answer. He has the answer, and no matter what we do, we may not know. But at the end of the day, God does not force anyone to do something. God will always tell you, especially when you're a Christian, that look, that route you're going is not a good one. Okay. There is a better choice. But if you insist on that path, God will say,
it's up to you.
I honor it.
Wonderful.
Right.
Wonderful. Now, chapter 4 says, they that will call on the name of the Lord. While I was skimming through the book, I saw somewhere also about prayer, changing your destiny and all of that. Is that related to what you are talking about in chapter 4?
Very correct. Now, when you are faced with a choice or challenges, you go to God, you pray. Because that prayer will inspire you to make the right choice.
Okay.
But if you just leave it open and conclude that, well, this is the way it should go, this is my destiny, then that is where the mistake comes in. So, but when you take time to pray, you wait upon the Lord, there is no way God will not talk to you or speak to you about the choice you're about to take or the step you're about to take. That is where prayer comes in. Waiting upon the Lord to hear from him, to be inspired on the choice you're supposed to make.
Now, this chapter 5 is the one that I would personally want you to expatiate quite a lot on. Faith without works
is dead. Right.
We are in a country where we believe so much in prayer. And I know a number of people who would pray and just expect your phone to ring someday and everything is just laid out. You know, you pray for a chair and you expect to see a chair. You want to see that thing just delivered straight to you.
Yeah.
You know, this chapter 5 addresses it. What are you saying when you say faith without works is dead?
Again, it goes back to what I said inspired the book. If I just keep praying, but meanwhile, I've been there before. By God's grace, I gave my life to Christ over 40 years ago. Okay. And I've gone through a lot. And when you just decide that this is faith, this is my life, and you don't do anything. Take, for example, your parent puts you in school, talking about maybe university or high school, and you are missing classes. You are missing classes. At the end of the day, you're going to fast and pray that you should have a good grade. It's not going to work. That is it. And then maybe you are praying in your house, you're looking for a job, and you're asking for help and everywhere. But you're not taking a step to network, to make contact. Or you're going for an interview, you just dress casually. I have somebody who I recommended for an interview. I said, okay, send your CV or your resume to somebody. And he sent it through the phone. And you expect me to talk to this person that this is you, I'm recommending you. I felt disappointed. It tells me that you was praying, but you are not looking at other natural factors. The world we live in requires that you talk to people, you network, you present yourself, you sell yourself. So that is a good example of faith without works is dead.
Wonderful. Now, chapter 6 says, consequences of bad choices versus God's mercy. Now, we're talking of consequences. Whatever choice you make, there are consequences.
Correct.
But then there is a part of mercy. That's what you're saying here. Can you expatiate on that?
According to 1 Peter chapter 5, the Bible says, after you have suffered for a while, God will come and settle you and establish you. In other words, God is a God of mercy. He's not a dictator. He just allows you to do what you want to do, but he will tell you what to do. But if you refuse, most times because of ignorance, most times because of lack of knowledge, of course, ignorant. And then you made that mistake. I was there before. I made a choice. I got a warning, but I didn't really, and perhaps I was naive. But it was a sincere mistake, right? And I began to pray and cry to God, Lord, this cannot continue. How do I get out of this? What will happen? And that was where I saw God's mercy came back to me and said, hey, you have suffered enough. I see the sincerity of your heart.
Exactly. So
and he came back, showed his mercy, he restored me, and that was part of.
So you're saying that before even God's mercy coming, you have to understand and you have to own up to the fact that you made a mistake. And then you have to be repentant. That's what you're saying.
That is the word, repentance. But if you're just arrogant and say, well, this I'm right, I'm always right, and you are not humble, the Bible says anyone that comes to God with a contrite spirit, God will not reject. You know, when you are humble, you come to God, God will have mercy and will restore you.
To wrap it up here, chapter 7 says the place of prayer in making choices, so that even before you make that choice, you're talking about prayer. What's that place of prayer before you make the choice?
When you are faced with choices, and this shouldn't be a fire brigade approach. Always be constant in prayer, align yourself with the Spirit of God, because the inspiration comes from Him. So when you want to make whether a major choice or a small choice, knowing that when you make a mistake, there's going to be consequences, you pray to God, you wait upon Him. And trust me, He will speak. He will lead. He will, even if you don't hear His voice, He will use people to tell you what to do. So that is the place of prayer in making choices. When you pray, you can be sure that you're setting out to make a bad choice.
A bad choice. All right. Thank you very much, Reverend Richie. The book is Choice Makes Destiny. With God, you can rescue yourself. Like he said, most of his personal experiences are in this book. All right, so Reverend, I don't know, we have something, if you're fasting or you have something for you, if you don't, at least even if you don't want to eat or you want to eat, you can look at it and all of that. We have something in the kitchen. Would you mind?
Thank you. Are we still live?
Yeah, we're live. We'll just head to the kitchen. We'll just head to the kitchen.
Okay, I'll just look at it.
Okay. Oh, wonderful. That's okay. That's
during
okay.
this period, I've actually had
That's
food
wonderful.
poisoning.
Oh,
so
that's
I
wonderful.
try avoid it.
Ah, that's okay. It's okay. Just. All right, something that Reverend said now, which I like, he said is very tempting, in spite of the fact that he just tell us how it looks, Reverend. Just what do you think about it?
Yes, well packaged,
we like that.
presentable, and like I said, I should just go ahead and start eating it. But I have
It's okay. It's
the
okay, Reverend.
constraint
Yes,
because
I
I just
understand.
came out of
I
food
understand.
poisoning,
I
and I
understand.
said,
I understand.
I'm not going to
okay.
eat outside again.
All right.
okay.
Thank you so much, Reverend, and thank you
Yes.
for that wonderful book. We hope people, when they read it,
They'll
they
be
will,
inspired.
be inspired and, get that message that you want to send out to them.
Yeah.
Thank you very
Thank you.
much.
Thank
I
you for coming.
appreciate your
Right.
time,
Thank
and
you
God
so
bless
much.
you.
Thank you, Chef.
If
Thank
you're
you,
just joining
everyone.
us, this is Pounded Yamo and Eforiro, which is what we had this morning by Chef Dumas, all right? Okay, so we have to say goodbye.
Yeah, we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.
Bye.